Hello everybody, today we have Michael Tellinger here with us, and we wanted to talk about, we want to ask about many questions about first of all, the Ubuntu Society. Hello Michael.
Hello, how are you, Matt?
I'm fine. As I understood now, you are in South Africa?
That's right.
It's a place where you live. It's a place where this Ubuntu is made up, or what? Where is it actually?
Yeah, I'm here in the home of Ubuntu, where the movement started. Where we have a museum for the ancient ruins in southern Africa, and we do tours to the stone circles and Adam's calendar, and many of the ancient sites that are connected to very, very ancient civilizations that have left behind very fascinating evidence of advanced technology.
Okay, I wanted to ask about how this Ubuntu idea, how this movement started for you. How did you decide to do this, or what inspired you to do this?
Well, it's really connected to studying and researching the origins of humankind and who we are as a species, ancient human history, and realizing that there was a time in human history where money did not exist, or when money did not exist. And when I realized that, I started thinking, well, how is it possible for people to have survived without money? And that made me explore the idea. This was around 2004, 2005. Explore the idea of a world without money, and slowly but surely realizing that that's the way we should be. That's the way we should exist. No money is necessary, where everybody contributes their talents and skills to the benefit of everybody in the community. In arts and culture, science, technology, healthcare, engineering, on all levels. Ultimately, that's what people do. They want to create, they want to invent and create and do great things, but they're always prevented from doing that through the socio-economic system and the money and the capitalist system.
Many times I was thinking about this idea where society is without money, and you know, I don't know how it's all over the world, but here in Latvia, many like big companies, like production companies, like manufacturers, close down because they have less profit or no income, or you know, some kind of loans. And then I was thinking, well, it's really strange that huge factories that can be used for, you know, production are closed down because they cannot get the money, you know, to get things moving. And on the other hand, in the very same city, there are many people that really would want to go and maybe just for free do and work there, but it's forbidden because they need money. So it's I got really confused. It's like a silly and a strange situation in this case.
Well, it's like that everywhere. It's like that everywhere, Matt. Wherever you travel around the world, there are factories and farms standing empty and breaking down, and it's just a very sad state of affairs when you see how money destroys everything. People want to go and do something, they want to create something, they'd be very happy to go and work in a factory, but it's not going to be allowed because the company that owns it has gone belly up, and now the bank has repossessed it, and now it's all in the hands of the bank. So this is what I remind people all the time. And when people aren't really awake to what's going on, you know, wake up and realize that the banks, the banking industry, and the banking families have stolen this world from all its people. The entire world belongs to the bankers and the banking families. You know, if you don't pay your house, who takes your house back? The bank takes your house back. If you don't pay your car, who takes your car back? The bank. If you don't pay your factory, if you don't pay your farm, who takes your farm or your factory back? The bank. They own everything. It's crazy.
I was thinking about another detailed point of view that, for example, the very own factory company, for example, they have maybe 10 employees, depending on the size of the factory, that calculate how much taxes they need to pay. Then they maybe have another few employees who do the bank transfers, and then in the very bank they have maybe hundreds, maybe thousands of people that just operate this system that they have created. And there is another industry that just do the cash machines, the payment terminals, and there's another huge industry. And what I was thinking, maybe 50 to maybe 20, maybe 30, maybe 50% of society is just doing a job that is not necessary for the very system, for the system to work. And
exactly.
Yeah, and then I was thinking, yes, for this idea which you are making, this Ubuntu society where there is no money, that nearly 50%, maybe 30% of people that were serving the system could do like jobs that are beneficial for the system, for the society, for the humans. And this is another, yes, really interesting idea which I was thinking about, that this Ubuntu movement which you are developing and making is really something really like a new way of living, new way of understanding how humans could actually live together with each other and everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how is this?
That's exactly what it is. Yeah. It's a new way of a new society, a new reality, a new system, and we've got to think completely differently. We cannot keep thinking the way we thought in the past. We've got to come up with something completely different and completely new, because everything that has been used in the past in our socio-economic systems and socio-political systems have failed us. They've failed us dramatically. So we can't keep thinking along those lines.
Yeah.
And the one thing that connects everything together is money. Money is the thing that connects everything together, and this is really important for people to understand. You cannot solve the problems of our lives, of our countries, of our world by using money. You're going to keep going back to the same problems.
Yeah.
And it's the same cycle of rise and depression and rise and depression, and it's going to carry on forever until we get rid of the money and replace it with cooperation and collaboration.
Yeah.
And none of this capitalist structure or the capitalist system that's been imposed on us, which destroys everything. Competition destroys everything. Corporate greed destroys everything.
Yeah.
And keep in mind that corporations have more rights than living, breathing human beings, and therein lies a huge problem of the plight of the people today.
How do people get involved in this Ubuntu society? How normally it happens? They go to Africa, South Africa. What do they do? How do they get involved in such a movement? I would say with Ubuntu.
Okay, so I need to first correct your thinking. There is no Ubuntu community.
Yeah.
There is no Ubuntu village or Ubuntu town or Ubuntu whatever.
Yeah.
If there was, then we wouldn't need to have this discussion. Then everybody would be watching the videos of the progress and the incredible success. So the way people get involved, they discover the Ubuntu movement, they read the book or they watch one of the videos, and then they join us. They join as a member on the website.
Yeah.
And then they start telling everybody that they meet, and hopefully get more people to join us. And the more people join the movement, the stronger we are as a global movement of unity consciousness. The more members we have, the more powerful the energetic effect, the more powerful the quantum effect, the more powerful the manifestation phenomenon becomes. Remember, everything is connected. Everything in creation is connected, and we are the makers of our own reality. This is very old information already, more than 100 years old, from quantum physics, that we are the makers of our own reality. So the more people think along the lines that we are creating a new reality, we are moving away from this old paradigm that has enslaved every single one of us, the easier it's going to be to shift the paradigm and to create the new world that we all would like to live in.
Yeah, this is a really nice way of thinking. Actually, we have been channeled. We were doing the channeling to different beings, and they were suggesting the same idea that you just told, that it's really important for people to actually know that such a thing exists, or such a movement exists, or such a way of thinking exists. And then slowly people will start to resonate to this idea even more and more, and they will start in a way taking action to it more and more. And there were several other ideas about this, but this way of thinking which you are sharing, I really feel motivated by this. So it's really very nice thinking. So this movement, this online community which you are creating, how big is it? How spread is it? How all over the world? Or can you share some kind of insight or details about it?
Yes, we have members and supporters in more than 200 countries. I didn't even know that there were 200 countries until we started to add them up.
Yeah.
So there are very few countries where people have not discovered the Ubuntu movement. I guess at this stage there have been probably more than 10 or 20 million people that have seen the Ubuntu videos, that are aware of us. But our membership, our physical membership, is not that big, is much smaller. But this is what we need to grow. So the awareness is there. Now we need to grow the actual membership of people that sign up and become actual members, so that when we share information, it goes out to a lot of people. And it is that sharing of information and spreading that consciousness that will keep evolving the unity and the collective consciousness of people that resonate with the same ideas, as you say, same ideas, same philosophy.
Yeah.
So it's that unity, consciousness, collective resonance that creates this environment for us to be able to create this new world for ourselves. And it's the existing paradigm is falling apart very, very quickly. It's not going to last for much longer. It's just completely unstable. The money machine that controls everything is just, it's breaking apart at the speed of light at the moment. Yeah.
I was having
so.
Yes.
Yeah, we have to make as many people aware as possible that there is a new way, that there is a way out of the system. Because most people that have not found the Ubuntu movement yet, so many people have no hope for the future. They don't realize how simple it is to get out of the mess. And that's why when they find us, they get very, very excited, because they realize that it's not only possible to get out of this economic and financial and mess and the misery that we live in, that we're trapped in the slavery system, that it's so much easier to get out of it that most people realize, and that we're actually already busy doing it.
Here, I don't know how in other countries they're talking about this slavery stuff, but I have an analogy that the overall this system which we are living in, the money system, banking system, is like a slowly sinking ship. And what the people are trying to do, or what the system is trying to do, is fix the holes so the ship doesn't sink that fast. So slowly sinking. And also here in,
yes.
I don't know how in other countries, but here in Latvia, for example, there is nearly, I don't remember, it's like a record of tax increases. It's like constantly increasing taxes. It's like you have every day a new tax, and every day something is cut off in the budget. So I was like thinking about how long it will last, because people are trying to get more and more depressed, more and more pushed down, and sooner or faster they will just start to, you know, the money has never supported them. We want to go in a new direction, in any direction except the money system that has been working here for like many years. So this is what
exactly.
I feel, this is what I feel in locally here. Also, the members on your website. You were talking. So
it's important for people to know that you know, what do we replace this current insane system with? We have to replace it with something that's going to work, and that's really what the Ubuntu movement has put together, and what we've been proposing now for a number of years. And I guess that's what so many people find exciting when they read our plan of action, when they read about the one small town philosophy, the one small town strategy. That's what they get really excited about, because they see how simple it can be. and all it takes is cooperation and collaboration. It takes money as well. In the beginning, it takes money, but slowly but surely, that money will be needed less and less. And within a few years, we'll find that we don't need any money at all, because we are manufacturing and creating everything we need in such abundance that we can't finish it, or we can't consume it, we can't eat it or use it up. That's the most exciting side of it. Yeah.
That was a funny thing. I was talking with one of my friends, and I said, well, this no money society is a brilliant idea. It's not even a brilliant idea, but it's also a highly effective idea, that what we were talking about. And imagine no money. It's like a beautiful life. And I told him one of your sentences that you were telling, that you don't eat money. Money is unnecessary. You cannot eat it or use it for yourself. And he said, and he was like started thinking, and when I pick up what he was thinking was that I would not get rich. I know he wanted to earn lots of money, and he was like sad about this idea, because then I will not be rich. But then what I tell him is that, but you can explore or have this experience in a different way. You can be, or you can do your, whatever this feeling of being rich, you can replace it by helping the society, by doing some kind of a goal which you are really proud of. You're just pointing your goals that you want to help build and do something. And another question what I wanted to ask is how about what are the members? There are members like ordinary people that I don't know, go to work or do stuff, or there are also people that own their own villages, own their own towns, or maybe they have developed also these no money society, like small villages, maybe bigger villages. What are the members mainly in this Ubuntu movement?
They're just ordinary people like you and I. Everyone, some rich people, some poor people, some very wealthy people, some very poor people. There are no Ubuntu villages. There's no one that owns a town or a community. There are many people that have farms that want to start intentional communities. Yeah. But keep in mind that there's a big difference between what we're doing in the Ubuntu movement and what we promote. And intentional communities is not a solution. There have been many intentional communities around the world for many, many years. For over 200 years now, there have been intentional communities. And there's some very famous ones. The kibbutzes in Israel are very famous intentional communities. There's Damanhur, there's Esselen, there's the famous one in Scotland. I forget what it's called now. But what people must realize that intentional communities will not overthrow or overcome the current socio-economic system. Yeah. It's just a closed system where the people look after each other, but they're a little island of prosperity and cooperation within an ocean of capitalism and greed, that if the capitalistic and greedy world outside decided, they could consume that small intentional community and they could destroy it. But somehow these intentional communities have survived, and they are wonderful examples of a bigger version of me. Now yeah. It's us. So it's not a solution. So it's just a bigger ego complex. It's not a solution for a new social structure. What we've done with contributionism, the Ubuntu movement and the philosophy of contributionism, we have paved out and shown the step-by-step plans of how to extricate ourselves, how to free ourselves from the current socio-economic and capitalist system that has enslaved us, and show what to do to get out of it. And the most important thing that people will find is that we have to use the tools of enslavement to free us from those tools of enslavement. And that is the most twisted, weird thing that has taken 12 years to actually realize. To come to the realization that we cannot escape the tools of enslavement by using different tools. We actually have to use those same tools to free us from that enslavement. So we have to use money, and the concept of capitalism to free ourselves from that enslavement. It is very sick and very twisted, but that is how devious the money system is. The money system is the most devious enslavement tool ever imposed on humanity. It is unbelievable, and it always destroys anything that tries to overthrow it. If you think about how the money system works, anyone, or anything, anywhere tries to overthrow the money system, they will be destroyed, because the money system runs the world. So you have to use the money system to create a different system in which money is no longer needed. If you try and overthrow the money system,
yes,
it's not going to work. Can you see the difference?
Well, I'm getting the point.
Yes. That's the very important thing for, hopefully your listeners and your viewers will understand this. And it's taken a long time. We've had to go, personally, I've had to go through 12 years when I first started the movement, or started talking about contributionism and Ubuntu. It's taken me personally 11 to 12 years to realize this. And I've had to learn and experience things, go into politics, start intentional communities, start many community projects, and learn every single time how money destroys everything. Everything you try to do will be destroyed by money. There's never enough money. If you start out with the intention to create a community that opposes money, it will be destroyed. So we now have a very different approach, which we call the one small town approach. And that is a model based on creating capitalist structures, capitalist or community projects, which are actually businesses that are based on very sound capitalist principles to make as much money as possible. But we use the collaborative effort of the people in the town or in the village or in the community. The people become the currency or the energy that create that abundance and prosperity in each one of those community projects or small businesses. And that changes everything. That suddenly turns your town into a very powerful labor force. If people all agree to work 3 hours a week, that's our current model. If everybody contributes 3 hours a week, if you have a small town of 5,000 people, that gives you 15,000 hours of labor every week. And with those 15,000 hours of labor, you can imagine how much you can achieve as a small town. Everything from housing, engineering, technology, healthcare, education, food growing, manufacturing. You can do anything you want in your small town if you have 15,000 hours of labor every week for free. No corporation, no municipality, no government department can compete with you and your town, because you're doing it collectively, you're doing it voluntarily,
yes,
and you're creating so much that the produce or the services or the food or the computers, whatever it is that you manufacture or grow in your town, can be done very, very cheaply, and you can start competing on the open market by selling your food or selling your technology or selling your healthcare to the outside world, which will make your town very, very rich, very, very wealthy, beyond our current comprehension.
Yeah,
the more money your town...
This I understand, okay.
Okay. So now the more money that we make in our town, the more money we distribute to the people that participate. So in the beginning, the people will be receiving, a few dollars every week, or maybe $100 a month, and eventually it'll go to $1,000 a month, and eventually it'll go to $5,000 a month, and eventually it'll go to $50,000 a month, because the amount of money that we make through these companies that we start, these businesses, which belong to all the people of the town. Can you see what starts to happen then? Then suddenly, people that have jobs in the mines or in a factory somewhere outside of the town, they'll no longer carry on working in those factories or those mines or those disgusting jobs that they have to do for some other corporation, because they're earning more money from their own businesses in their own town for simply working 3 hours a week.
Yeah.
And the moment that happens, you've shifted the swing completely, and everybody will be working in their own community, benefiting everyone around them, being able to participate in what they love to do. And the moment people do that, then the consciousness rises even more. They no longer have stress. They're no longer worried about where they're going to get food or how they're going to get health care, because they suddenly have the best hospital in the world in their own town. Right? And you understand why I say that, right? You understand when I say the best hospital. Do you understand why it's the best hospital?
People love to contribute. People love to do creative. People love to express creatively, because many people, not like many people, the idea of mine when I sometimes go to a hospital, take a look around, that people hate to do this job. They hate to be there, but they go there because they think they need the money. But if you turn it around and create that. You only come here, and those people come here by expressing their creativity. They have all the support in their life, they have all the food, this living place, everything in society, and you can contribute it with joy. You can contribute it and do something that excites you. And it's a completely new way of a new hospital, because people will love to do it more accurate, more caring, more you know, in a way creative, but it's with all manners. Sometimes when I look around, I don't know, you don't see the buildings outside here, but they're basically gray, and they're basically, you know, really old buildings. And one of the friends, she said that it's really strange, you know, this world has produced so many beautiful colors, like, you know, which you can paint them. But she said she doesn't understand why the people don't use the colors to, you know, paint these terrible looking houses. I don't know, in different places of the world, but basically here in Latvia we have some like 9th floor block buildings that look disgusting gray. And there's also a really interesting thing, because people they don't make this world beautiful. They make this world how much could I earn or benefit from it. And this is also an interesting thing, that many people just lose their creativity and joy in their life by just being in the system that like pushes them down to a certain like I don't know, degree level of lack of joy, lack of happiness, lack of creativity, self-expression maybe also. And
yeah, exactly. So remember that the hospital will be filled with people that actually can cure disease, that can actually cure cancer, that can cure all disease, because we know we can cure all disease. So our hospitals will not be hospitals to manage disease. They'll actually be there to cure and heal the people, and not to keep them on prolonged states of dis-ease so that the drug companies can keep making money out of it, because that's what it is at the moment. So everything changes. The moment you remove money from our society and you allow people to contribute their natural talents and skills, the true healers will go and work in the hospitals. Because at the moment, the true healers are not allowed to work in the hospitals because the drug companies don't want them there.
Yeah, I understood. This is one time we do, a couple of friends, we do channeling here, and we were talking about also this medicine stuff. And the most mind-blowing information was not like mind-blowing, but surprising, that for example this cancer disease illness, and we had questions, is there a cure or something, and the answer was from the channeler that basically the understanding is that hospitals or the medical corporations find these people who have these cancer diseases as clients, and basically what they all are doing is create slowly new methods that can slow down, or you know, like what I understood there was that these people who have cancer, they constantly on some kind of regular basis take some medicine or go to hospital, and basically they are like a lifetime clients for the medicine industry. And the medicine industry is not interested in putting cures in it. They're more interested in making something that could earn more money in a balance with helping a little and earning a little bit more in this way. And this is some kind of, not like some kind of, but another way of the system, how we can look on it.
Yeah,
I wanted
exactly
to ask,
what it is.
I want to ask another question, is that how do you look at things that people don't use money at all, like exchange with like potatoes, tomatoes, for example, I make you clothes, you give me something that you can do better, like build a house, for example, or help building a house. How do you look at this, like a barter type of society?
Yeah, and I need to be very clear on this. The Ubuntu movement and the system of contribution does not account or does not provide a platform for any of that. We are very, very strong in our understanding of the removing of money in all its form. So no money, no barter, no trade, no exchange, no value attached to anything greater than anything else, because all of our contributions must always be seen as equally valuable, and a system in which everybody contributes their natural talents or their acquired skills for the benefit of everyone in their community, while it also benefits themselves. So if you have a bartering trade or any exchange trade, it's just a form of money. Then the potatoes become the money, and then there's argument about my potatoes are more valuable than your chickens. So it's not a solution. It is just another system that will cause problems, and he who has more chickens or more to trade will control the system, and eventually will start taking over and will control everything and all the trading and all the exchange, because that's how it'll work. As long as you've got any form like that to a one-to-one exchange, it will cause the same kind of problems we have in the capitalist system today. So this is why the contributionist system is a system where you contribute your skills and talents to everybody in your community, not just to one person, and then they have to give you something in return. That's never worked before, and it never will. So as long as you do, me as the doctor, I'm going to, or the healer, I will heal everybody. I'm not just going to heal you and then you must give me a chicken because I've healed you. That doesn't work, does it? Or I've made 1 can of jam and I'm going to give you a can of jam for a chicken. But you didn't spend time to grow. The chicken grew on its own. I've had to spend time and energy making the jam. So I'm going to make jam for everybody. And in fact, we're going to set up a jam workshop so that all the people can come and work every week, and we'll make jam for the whole.
Okay, we have a internet problem. Internet connection. Let's wait when it gets better.
So, by a month, because you want the latest fashion, and then they break within 3 months, and then you have to replace them because it's form over function. It's not built to work. It's built to look good and to and have the obsolescence factor built into it, so that it becomes obsolete in a few months or a few years. So you have to buy new ones. So all of that flies out of the window. We replace everything we do, becomes the best quality, the best engineering, the best manufacturing, the best design, the most functionality. It's recyclable, renewable, non-toxic, and the best quality you can possibly imagine, because now we can do that. Money no longer holds us back.
Okay. Thank you for this story. I really understood now the idea. We are getting almost with our time. How much time do you have still? Do you have time?
Yeah, I have to leave pretty soon. I have a meeting in about 12 minutes down the road. So.
Okay, so I think then we should end this today. I had more questions, but maybe we'll leave it till the next time. And thank you for your time. Thank you for this insight. It really took me in a new way of looking to this idea. I was always thinking, mostly about the barters, but now I understood your point of view or your approach, and it's a really nice idea.
Yeah, no, it's very important to understand the fundamentals of the Ubuntu movement and the contributionist system. Most people, when they find us, come with preconceived ideas and the ideas of their own of all the things that we've been programmed with, you know. We need to leave behind all that pre-programmed ideas and open your mind completely to a whole new way of thinking. And again, so we cannot solve the problems with the same kind of thinking we used when we created the problems. So we now need to think completely out of the box, and removing the money and creating a system in which money is no longer needed, a system in which we contribute for everybody's benefit. That's the only way, because that has never happened before. So that's how we're going to get out of the slavery system.
Beautiful, really beautiful. Okay, thank you for your time. Thank you everybody for listening. Yeah, think more of Ubuntu. By the way, tell me your website. What's the name?
Ubuntu Planets. Yeah, ubuntuplanet.org. We've just launched the new website this week, so it needs a bit more work, but it's a very important step and a moment in the history of the Ubuntu movement, because now we can create Ubuntu Planet websites in all the different countries, in all the different languages, and for the Ubuntu management teams in those countries to be able to run their own website, share their own news and events in their own language. So that's very important for us to have reached this stage. So I think the Ubuntu movement will grow a lot quicker now that we've got this capacity to do that.
All right, beautiful. All right, thank you for watching and have a good day.
Thanks, Matt. Speak soon. Bye.
Okay, bye.